lot of the journey in life, in my opinion, is finding some group that you can be a part of and participating in that group and picking the right group, picking the right people to have kids with, the right people to bring into your life, right? Which requires consciousness because we know that one of the things about love and sex is that it's not a logical process. It's very emotionally driven, and we meet somebody, we think they're cute. Next thing you know, they're ruining our lives because we've let a virus into our body and our mind and our soul and our lives, right? Which is kind of a scary thought. So anyway, with that being said, let me go back and play this video. This is really interesting. And then I'll explain why. So here it goes. All right. So this is me talking for a second, but just ignore me because that's me at 6 in the morning. But watch the lady. She's more interesting than me. Here it goes. Video to be very disturbing because it makes me wonder what the future is for Black families and relationships. Check it out.
Was just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people, or even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women. Like, a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like a simulation. Is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused and I'm like low-key, like nervous, like for us. Wish it for myself, fuck y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know. Never mind. Don't. We know where they at. Bye.
I found this video to be very disturbing. Okay. Okay, so I want to ask y'all a question. Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen anything like that. I'd be curious to know if anybody's ever been a part of something where it seemed a little bit out of balance, or maybe she's making it up. Maybe it's just her unique experience. Angela says no. Tequila says yes. Okay, Steven says I have. Cheryl says I have. Candace says no. James says no. Linda says no. Kim says yes. Janet says yes. Okay, so this is a mixed bag, right? This is a very mixed bag. Some of you have had that experience. Some of you have not. I can tell you this. My wife did. My wife is she's a relationship optimist. When we were friends back in the day, every girlfriend that I ever had that she ever met, she would always say, "Oh my God, boys, you two should be married," right? And so, and I would just joke. I said, "I don't think you're really saying that I should marry that person. You just love the idea of love, right?" She just loved the idea of people being in love, and she's a hopeless romantic in that way. Whereas when I married her, I told her flat out, I said, "Look, I don't know if I would have gotten married. I married you because you're you, not because I just really felt I woke up one day and said I have to be married. I just had many opportunities to get married. I just, you get enough money, it's easy to get married, right? So the point was to say though that with that said, I remember she did an event in Atlanta that was a speed dating singles kind of thing. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, from what I'm hearing in Atlanta, the dating market's a little bit skewed. And she's again, because she's optimistic. She's like, no, there's somebody for everybody. I'm like, okay, well, there's somebody for everybody. You go do it, girl. I'm gonna support you. And she did this event. There were 27 women and 3 men, and two of the men were one of them was very unattractive. The other one was probably married. And so there was one guy who was holding court, who was literally sitting there having a conversation with about 6 women, and and she came back and she was so shocked. And I said, yeah, I said you got to go spend some time in these streets. I kind of feel like there's some stuff happening. There might be some truth to that. Now, again, I don't think that's everyone's experience, right?